What if Deku was a cyborg octoling? Season 2, Part 2. Hopefully y'all like the new thumbnail. Let's get right on into this. We start on the very next day of school for Izumi and Silver. Who Silver is the spy for UA for Deku's organization. As Silver's sitting in the classroom, as she decides to listen in on Izumi, who's talking with Bakugo. So she gets up and gets close enough to where she can hear them. I can't believe they just kidnapped my mom. I know, they did this out of the blue too during daylight. But it must have been good if the security haven't found them and the heroes. But where could they be keeping her? As Silver's listening in and gets a little bit of a grin. As she thinks in her mind, she's getting what she deserves. But whoever did this is going to pay. Bakugo agrees with Izumi. But where would they think to hide her? As then Aizawa would come into the classroom. Everyone calm down. Be quiet. As Silver went back to her seat. The teacher's more on guard lately. As the teacher's looking through the classroom, like observing all the students, he's being more judgmental than usual. I may have to stay low key for a while. As she had been secretly sending plans, files, secretly to Deku, our main character in this. Alright, listen up. At this moment, y'all are going to be preparing for the sports festival. That is right around the corner, about a few weeks. Of course, there's always all bandaged up, of course, same as in canon. But he has a judgmental stare across the class. So I want y'all to train hard and prepare yourselves for it. Do I make myself clear? As they respond with a yes, as the rest of it goes pretty much as canon as they leave school. Now we go to Kraken, who is currently on board a helicopter heading to a cargo ship. As they're flying over, we there yet? We're just above it, ma'am. As they fly above it, it's around nighttime. Alright, everyone. As she kicks like a ladder down, or a rope, as they slide down onto the ship, being only 5 octolings. As she calls as soon as she gets on. Also, she's the one with the green hair in the thumbnail. Alright, stay nearby, we may need you to pick us up. Got that, I will stand by. As it flies out of radar distance. So why are we here, ma'am? There's a very important object below deck. Let's move. As they have their guns at the ready as they're moving through the cruise ship. As one of the crew members comes walking around the crate and sees Kraken. The rest of her team has already moved ahead. Hey, what are you doing here? This shipment is going straight to... As before he could finish his sentence, a giant tentacle would grab around him, and then just shoving him into a container, causing him to hit his head and fall unconscious. Now, he only saw the back of Kraken, so he didn't see her face. As Kraken's a bit annoyed. At least it's one person knocked out. Alright. As she follows her men as they had already opened and gone through the ship, as she walks through and walks by the countless security guards that had already been taken out by the team. Good work, you've been trained well. Most of us were trained by C, ma'am. Ah, yes, one of the very first octolings created by our master. Now be aware, we have a very important mission here, to gather a certain item. As they're confused. What item? You still haven't mentioned to us. That is none of your concern. As they move below deck, going through the corridors, until they reach a huge area full of crates and all that. Shipping containers. Alright. As they're moving through, as Kraken's looking at the names. Nah. As then she comes across one. Here we are. You open it up as she points to a random octoling, and I'll say this octoling has, you know what, gray technical hair. As he opens it up with his gun by shooting the chains on the container. As Kraken opens it, as we see a whole bunch of documents on a table in there. As the others are confused, as Kraken walks in. Yes, this is exactly what we're looking for. As her team is confused. So what was the mission, ma'am? As Kraken starts to put all the documents into a bag. To retrieve these documents. These documents hold valuable intel on the heroes and about our operations they've discovered. So getting rid of this, they gotta start from a clean slate. What do you mean? They don't know of any of our operations. Well, one of us had a slip up a while back out of country in a retrieval mission. And information was sold off to a hero that was due to arrive, well, tomorrow morning. Our job is to intercept that intel, which is this right here. As she holds a document of, 2 octolings that had messed up on a job. Luckily, we already dealt with the person that had the information, but we still need to get rid of these documents. As she puts all the documents in a bag. Alright, let's go. As they start to move up to the top deck, as then we hear sirens going off. Of course, they didn't want to make it that easy for us. As she pressed her earpiece. Yeah. Pickup team, where are you? We're about 5 minutes out. We'll be there. Just hold on. As, of course, the sirens were going off, but there's no heroes nearby. They're in the middle of the sea. As we go to the captain's quarters, where he's confused. What's going on? Sir, we have intruders. And you set off the alarm? Well, without telling me first. Sir, it's urgent. We need to call for backup. They've already taken down the security. Get the heroes on the line. As then, the static just comes over the radio system. The communication system. We can't get in touch with anyone. We're being jammed. Yeah, they had to do their business here, seriously. Well, I guess the whole ship's going down. As Kraken hands one of the files to one of her men. Take this and aboard the helicopter. Yes, ma'am. As the helicopter lowers a ladder down as they start to climb on it. What about you, ma'am? Don't worry, I'll be there in a second. As she takes off her glasses, or her shades, puts it in her pocket, before jumping into the water. As she transforms into a kraken, and, well, basically sinks the transport ship, cargo ship, as it's dragged under the water with all of its crew. As it gets torn in half by Kraken, hence her name, Kraken. Now they're out of the way. Alright, status report. As she's calling on her communicator, the ship has been taken care of, as we see from the helicopter, and the intel is on board. Good. Now lower that ladder, as we see her floating on the surface of the water. As the helicopter lowers down, as she grabs onto the bottom of the ladder. Alright, take off. As the helicopter lifts off, as we see her holding onto the ladder, as she's leaning out, flying back to the mainland. So where to? Headquarters. Move it. Yes, ma'am. As we go now to Deku, who's currently sitting in his office doing paperwork. Having to get all these materials is such a nuisance. Only if I could have other people do this, but I need to make sure everything's run correctly around here. Is anyone here a knock at the door? Come in, as it happens to be I. She walks in. If you don't know, she's basically the Yellow Agent 3. I was trying to find a yellow octoling, but I couldn't find one, so that's what y'all get. As she walks in, you called for me. Not really, but what do you need? I came to report on my efforts of convincing the people. I have them content and calm them down. The heroes are trying to do everything to rile them up for them to have a reason to enter and take the safe zone away from us. But it seems my speeches are keeping things down. Well, that is great news. What about Silver? She said she'll be lowering down intel due to Aizawa being suspicious. Ah, Racerhead. We gotta be careful of him. I've analyzed the records. He's an underground hero. Very skilled at analyzation. I told her to keep an eye out for him. As his eyes are going through the documents and looking at I. Anything else to report as he turns his chair back? Well, I hear there's been a lot more criminal villain activity near us lately. The safe zone. As Deku turns around. Of course there is. Oh, I know what they're doing. They're gonna try to get a warrant to come in the safe zone to search for villains that supposedly escaped into the safe zone. Clever, clever, clever. How's the security teams? They're doing well. Now, we're one of the most, really, influential mutation businesses in the safe zone, with our security being the police force around here. Because I'm just going to say the official of over the safe zone managed to convince to have mutation police for the safe zone, since people are very hesitant and to stop any violence or basically arguments with the police force. So most of the police force is consisting of Deku's own octoling forces. So, yeah. He has control over the police in the mutation safe zone. Well, heroes shouldn't come in here as long as we have our men take care of it. That's the thing. All Might is looking for his wife. You know this. Yes, there's been a big commotion about it. It's all over the news. No doubt villains have heard of it and wondering who was the cause. What are you going to do with her, sir? Simple, she will get what she deserves very soon. Why don't you just kill her? After all, she's caused you nothing but pain and sadness, sir. As I is angry. As Deku sets down the documents he's looking at and looks at I. As his, eye glows orange. Listen here, I decide what happens to her. If I want her dead, she'll die. If I want her alive, she'll stay alive. I will have her suffer in the most painful way I can think of. By watching her own fame and glory go down the drain, along with All Might and that precious daughter of hers. So I suggest you back off, and let me do what I need to do. Do I make myself clear? As I is taken aback, as she's never heard the boss this angry before. Sorry, sir. I spoke out of turn. It's fine, but now get back to work. I'm very busy lately. After all, I'm picking up some messes with the Hero Safety Commission. Our representative for it is being protected by Gauntlet. He's doing a great job so far. I need to really go meet him and have a chit-chat with him. It's been a while. As another knock's heard at the door. Come in, as it's C. Sir, I have news. What is it? You want to take a look at this? As he pulls something up. A full investigation on the mutation safe zone is being commenced in a week. As Deku's eyes widen as he hits the table, they cannot do that. When did they get the authority to do so? Apparently, All Might's wife is what gave them the authority. Really now, they want to investigate this place. And thinking All Might's wife is here. Yes. Man, oh man. Where is she now? Not even in the mutation safe zone as requested. Precisely, they're going to find nothing. But what if they find our operation here? They will not. We are a business company. If we have our own security force, we supply with security for mutation safe zone businesses and police force. They can investigate all they want. They don't have a single crime they can commit us of. And the only evidence is being disposed of right now by the operative Kraken. I see, sir. But if I may, what if they try to pull a stunt? They wouldn't dare call a civilian here in our own territory, because then the people here would just term them, oh great, they're just blaming another person. Unless there's evidence on the news about a crime they committed, they can't do so. So they need to back off. But permission, sir. We are allowed to apprehend any heroes that do not behave, correct? Yes, you are allowed to do so. I give full permission for it. And the Hero Safety Commission can't do a thing. We'll just say he'll be released in a few days after calming down. Which we'll do so. As then, Deku's phone starts to ring. 1 second, you two. As he picks it up. Yes. Boss, this is Sarah. You may need to talk with Black Eye. What is it now? I know she has a bit of a grudge against Endeavor and is short-tempered. But what do you want me to do about it? She's been injuring Inko Midoriya a lot lately. In fact, she's been on the verge of death twice now. As he sighs. You gotta be kidding me. Alright, fine. Tell her to stop and lower it down. I need her alive for my plan. Very well, I will inform her right away. And if you're wondering who Sarah is the one with the yellow hair and black dot hair tentacles. Also in, like, a doctor's outfit. Yes, I hear what you mean about Black Eye and Inko Midoriya. But don't worry, it's being taken care of now. Now go back on to what you were talking about, C. Yes, I feel like they're going to try something to blame us so they can have a full shutdown in the safe zone. Because this would be the perfect time to do so. And of course, if we hadn't have control of the police force, they would agree to help assist. But we have control over it, so we'll know. Yes, we will know. if they try anything. Also, you'll be meeting the representatives coming to investigate, as you're our diplomat of the of our safe zone. Really, sir? Yes. As much as I would like to just get this over with, it's a bit too soon. After all, I have to make sure All for One makes a move before I do. Or else things could go too out of place. As C and I are confused, All for One? The #1 villain in Japan. I thought he died years ago. No, he's very much alive. And planning something. One reason I've been able to pull off my operations is because the heroes have been busy trying to investigate the League of Villains. Which has been a nuisance, but has also been a very good help. So just do your jobs and go back to work, please. I need to finish filing out some documents. And preparing for this little setup the heroes plan to do. Very well, sir. As C and I walk out, they still have plenty to learn. As he starts to look at documents that have the names of all of his top operatives, agents, or commanders. Now, the main commanders of Deku's force consisted of 3: C, Silver, and Scarlet. And then the agents, who mostly do undercover work and, well, political areas, being I, Gauntlet, and Silver. And our main fighters and kind of lieutenants that lead other octoling areas consist of Kraken, Black Eyes, Octoling 1, and Sarah. Sarah is part of the medical division of, well, Deku's octoling force. As we go back, as C is training some of the, well, octolings that were created in hand-to-hand combat. As one throws a punch, as he deflects it and hits him in the face, as another one tries to go for a sneak attack, as he grabs his arm and flips him. As another octoling tries to, well, charge him, as C just simply jumps above and hits him in the back. As then he would move his hands and hitting all 3 of the octolings with water, sending them to the wall. As apparently, C had gotten the upgrade of, well, water. The ability to control water. Y'all have plenty to learn. After all, most of the commanders and higher-ups, such as ourselves, have these upgrades given to us by the boss. With the exception of 1 or 2 of us. As the recruits get back up. So who are the 2 exceptions, sir, if I may ask? Gauntlet, who uses technology. And there's also Black Eye. Pretty much relies on... No, she has an upgrade. I forgot about that. She did get one recently. It might be Sarah. I'm not sure. But anyway. Back to trading. As we see Octoling 1, who's observing the training. As she's looking out. Or as he's looking out. Looking at the octolings. Everything seems to be going well in this area. As Octoling 1 starts calling other areas. As she gets in contact with the police force. Yes, this is Octoling 1. Yeah, this is the head of the police force for, the mutation safe zone, sir. I need to talk to you about something. Yeah, the heroes plan to come in and do an investigation, searching for Inko Midoriya. I'm aware of this. The boss has already informed me through a message. Yeah, but did they tell you that All Might himself is coming? All Might is coming? Yes. No, they didn't. I'll relay this message back to the boss. Thank you very much for the intel. As you wish, sir. Great. Now we have another problem to deal with. Oh, the boss is already stacked with work. His plans must not go down the drain. He starts to walk towards Deku's office. And that is the end of part 2 of season 2 of What If Deku Was a Cyber Octoling. Make sure to like and subscribe if you like this.